Alright, here we are with Hugh Brown, and we're doing a sit-down interview about the UFC. And we just recently saw UFC 113 on pay-per-view this past Saturday, and it was a pretty exciting night. A lot of things happened. I'd like to get your opinion and comments about all the events that happened. And first off, I want to get your general impression of what you thought of the night and the events. Just overall, how entertaining was it?
I thought it was a good night at the fights, and there are a lot of interesting fighters, a lot of interesting fights, and interesting characters. So it was very entertaining, and every fight was good. Every fight was really good. We didn't know what to expect.
Yep.
But it was a good program.
So you think it lived up to the hype?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, if I'd have to, it'd have to be a very good rating.
So,
good.
Yeah, one of the better shows in your opinion, right? Because you've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fights, and last night was probably the best. The other night was probably the best.
Right. Were you surprised when I told you they brought in over $3 million just at the gate, or the attendance?
At the gate, that's a lot of money, just at the gate. But I guess,
Yeah.
I guess it was done.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole lot of people. I forget how many, maybe 7,000 fans in attendance that night at Montreal.
That's how much money per fan.
Oh.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you figure a lot. Anyway, we had some really good fights lined up that night on the card. We had a good mix. We got to see some heavyweight fights, some light heavyweight, of course the title match, and then we also had the 170-pounders at welterweight. So all in all, pretty good, well-rounded evening. We even saw some middleweight action. Alan Belcher made his comeback fight, or not Alan Belcher's comeback fight, but his opponent's comeback fight, Patrick Cote. He ended up losing to Alan Belcher, but that was a very good fight. And then we had Kimbo Slice coming into, this was his second official fight with the UFC. And he went up against Matt Mitrione, a younger guy. Both of them were on the TV show together, and they had a rivalry, so they were able to settle things. What were your thoughts about that fight before you saw it? Who did you think would win and why?
Well, I was kind of up in the air about that fight. I really didn't know anything about Matt Mitrione, and Kimbo Slice. I've only, heard you talk about him and say that you thought he was a good fighter. So I didn't know which way the fight would really go, although I thought maybe Kimbo Slice might win the fight. Matt was, I guess, because Kimbo Slice seemed more aggressive, and Matt was just kind of laid back and very confident, and
Yeah.
he was just really at ease.
So were you surprised with how the fight unfolded as Kimbo Slice started losing?
Yeah, I think it did kind of surprise me at first, because when the fight started, I think Kimbo Slice came in pretty strong, and he was punching pretty hard and pretty fast. And Matt seemed like he was not that fast. He seemed kind of slow. So it seemed to me like Kimbo could have got in the punch and won the fight. But Matt was just real relaxed and smiling, kind of playing along, and wasn't a bit worried. And we saw as the fight went on that I think Kimbo could not do any damage to Matt, and Matt just eventually, I think he overcame Kimbo first by his confidence. He was just real relaxed, and he was just kind of punching, real slow punching, but effective, and waiting for an opportunity. And the fight really started changing when Matt started slamming Kimbo to the ground. And then once he got Kimbo down, the fight was really over.